One of the things that I see from a lot of healers is that they're on healing mode all the time. And that everyone that they come in contact with, it's almost a compulsive need to heal that actually comes out of wounding. So you're asking what is a specific challenge that I've had, or what is a challenge that I see that healers have in doing their work. And you brought up the question of empathy and or the, kind of some of the issues around empathy. And I really think that is probably like the number one place. For me, like I hear this from a lot of people, is that they naturally move through life in a way where they're feeling the feelings of other people, or they're connected. Sometimes they're connected and experiencing, things that maybe other people aren't perceiving or feeling. So they're aware of something beyond maybe the physical or something like that. For me around this, when I was little, I was brought all the sick animals. If somebody had a sick animal, like a neighbor even, they would bring it to me to take care of it. And so I never thought about that as a kid. Like, why did they bring the sick animals to me? And what was it about me? But it was just naturally what they did. And what I hear from people a lot is that they wind up having people who are in pain, or whether it's their family members, or people just in everyday life, sort of gravitate to them in some way. And that it's not problematic in and of itself, but if you are unaware of what's happening, which most people are at a young age, that if you're unaware of what's happening, then you're now surrounded by suffering or pain or sickness in some way. And then through being empathic, you might sort of incorporate that into your own sense of self or your identity. And then so that's like the healer, or the person that sort of acts in this is moving in the world in this way, might start to think, wow, I'm really messed up. And they might even have experiences in their life of being really messed up. And in the sense that they've sort of taken on all of this pain and suffering, and it's become now their own personal identity. And so a lot of people come to their work through the pathway of self-healing. And I know this was very much the case for me, that it was through trying to heal myself that I started to understand more of the mechanisms behind healing, and then eventually to do this with other people. So that I would say is one thing, that the struggle with maybe feeling wounded or broken in some way because of repeated life experience of being in pain and suffering, along with whatever, individual pain and suffering was there. So the other piece of this is that when someone is empathic and they're feeling all the things around them, it can be challenging to discern. It's sort of building on it. It can be challenging to discern between self and other. And so when talking about like getting the right distance between yourself and the things that you're working with, it can be very challenging to be able to do that. Like, how do I, and this was a big question for me, how do I feel? Because part of the way that I work is that I do know, like I sense physically and emotionally sense what it is that's going on with someone. And so if I'm feeling this, right, on a regular and consistent basis, then it might feel like, wow, working with people is really tiring or exhausting or depleting, because it's so close to me. It feels like I'm doing it all the time. And so what I learned was that my perception of where I needed to make contact in order to be sensing or in touch with another person's experience was a little too close. Like, I almost felt like I had to take it all the way inside in order to connect with it and have the experience of it. But I learned that I could actually move, like sense it further out from me. So that was it, and it came through learning to strengthen my energetic body. And so through my own healing and learning to strengthen my energetic body, have more resilience, I was actually able to make contact and still be just as empathic, but to make contact with what it was that was around me a little in a healthier way, a way that was a little more distant from me. The other thing that I think about this is that there's also a sacrifice. I mean, and no matter how you're in the world and what you do, that there are certain sacrifices you make in order to be able to do it. If you work in a hospital as a doctor, you might make the sacrifice of your time schedule. You might have to work on an erratic time schedule in order to make that work. So there are sacrifices to do anything. You know, if you want to be an athlete, you might need to train a lot. One of the potential sacrifices for people who are very sensitive is that they need to live their life in a way that allows them to be able to maintain that sensitivity. So certain activities might not be as supportive to that. And so some of it is lifestyle, making lifestyle choices that support a healthier operating system that then allows, you know, the person to operate in a better way in the work that they're doing. And you can sort of set that to the degree that you want to be working with others. So as far as lifestyle, like how to live so that you can work optimally, right? So just that statement in and of itself, it has a lot of you know, personal beliefs built into it, right? So it comes from the perspective of that I would first want to live in a way that allows me to work optimally versus work in a way that allows me to live optimally. That's a specific orientation. But many people want to be able to just work with clients more, or to feel that the impact it's like it's not impacting their life to the same degree. Or to a harmful degree. The openings, closings, and like a frame for work is a very important piece of that. So, which means that, you know, having an office or having a space to work, being deliberate about how you're starting or ending a session, things like that help quite a bit. The other thing that I think is really important is differentiating between the people that are in your life who are support people, or friends, or whatever, colleagues, whatever they are, differentiating between those people and the people that you work with or for or in service of. And the reason for this is because some of it, like I said, this can be a very instinctual way of being. One of the best lifestyle choices to make is to really be clear about who are the people that you're working with. One of the things that I see from a lot of healers is that they're on healing mode all the time. And that everyone that they come in contact with, it's almost a compulsive need to heal that actually comes out of wounding. So if there is a compulsion to help another person, there's a belief that that person is less powerful or unable to do it on their own, and therefore they need your help in order to be able to really do whatever it is that they do, which is fundamentally disrespectful to the person, and so it's actually not so healing. So by correcting that inside of ourselves as a healer and recognizing that healing, or anyone, someone chooses to open to healing. So permission is very important. So it chooses to open to healing, and you choose to offer it in that particular moment. And then that is like respectful of them and respectful of you. And so one of the places to sort of like focus on this, less theoretically, is to look at the people in your life and to see, if your family and your friends are all people that you're doing healing work with constantly, then you are probably working in a way that's not healthy, and it will probably stop you from being able to grow it into something that you can do as a vocation. Part of what I do is I help healers and guides, people who help in others' transformation, grow their work and themselves. In October, I'll be starting the next round of my healers training. And if you might be interested in this kind of work, you can fill out an application and sign up for a consult using the link here.